Ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, from Lima Shenanigans of 1977, it's Tuesday, and you know what that means. It's time for the NXT Event Center Wrestling Report. And now here's the man that will bring you all the wrestling happenings from the WWE Superstars of tomorrow, Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2370, and this is July 8th, 2025, 10:15 p.m. Final video for the day until tomorrow. What's going on, everybody? I hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed day. Hope you guys had a wonderful, blessed. I had a decent day, but some concerns here and there, but no big deal. But ladies and gentlemen, after watching NXT tonight and what's going to go on this weekend, it's going to be insane in the membrane. Let me tell you. That just ain't Cypress Hill rapping that song. You know, that's what they should be the theme song for the wrestling this week. Is insane in the membrane, because everybody has gone nuts. Now, you would think, now NXT, this is the final NXT before the Great American Bash. You think that's leveled up, no pun intended. Check out, you should have checked out what happened. In fact, I'm going to tell you what happened. If you haven't watched it yet, you're missing out, bro. So, it kicked off, okay, we were talking about this, the NXT, with Great American Bash complications, implications, that's the word I was looking for. Complications, implications, what, Emancipation Proclamation? I don't listen to hip-hop, sir. Have you heard of Emancipation Proclamation? No, sir, I don't listen to hip-hop. A little South Park quote for you. South Park movie quote for you. A clean one or two is that. Ricky Saints decided to run the gauntlet against the Vanity Project. It would be against the team of Swipe Right. That's the team of Ricky Smokes. And he looks like MJF's bastard son. And then you've got Brad Baylor, who looks like Matt Damon on crack, and then you got Jackson Drake, who looks like a total dorkhead, but he's the Evolved Men's Champion, and Ethan Page, Mr. Fiddler When I Smile, and all that good stuff, joined on commentary, and ended up so Ricky Saints started off with the Matt Damon on crack, Mr. Brad Baylor. He beat him with a tornado DDT. And then he went up against MJF's bastard son, Ricky Smokes. And after a reverse atomic drop, Mr. Saints pinned him. Then the Evolved champion, Jackson Drake. And I'll tell you one thing, I gotta give it, even though we all want, we're supposed to hate on Vanity Project, they're very good in the ring. And they gave Ricky Saints all he could, but Ricky Saints in the end hits Drake with the old Rochambeau. 1, 2, 3. Ricky Saints gets his title shot and names the stipulation. So he grabs the microphone, looks at Ethan Page, who's in a pissed off mood. He goes, "Hey, how about this? No, anything goes, falls count anywhere." This is going to be in Atlanta, folks. So falls count could go anywhere. They could run into Goldberg and get a 3 count. Who knows? Let me tell you. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup. Meanwhile, Zarya and Sol Ruka were excited about the opportunity to become women's tag team champions. Now, you think about this, folks. Now, I did mention this, but I'm going to say it again. Sol Ruka has a humongous opportunity this weekend to make WWE history. Now you say, Eric, what do you mean? Well, right now, Sol Ruka is the current WWE Women's Speed Champion. She's also the current NXT Women's North American Champion. Should she retain her title against Izzy Dame, now I'll talk a little bit about that coming up, Great American Bash this Saturday, and should she and Zarya win the women's tag team titles 24 hours later, Sol Ruka could be the first woman in WWE history to hold 3 titles simultaneously. I don't think anyone else has done that. Not even the 4 horsewomen of the WWE. Not even the Bella Twins, not even Trish Stratus or Lita, not even, and I hate to say it, not even Melina. So, but I'll tell you what, Sol Ruka has an opportunity to make serious history. And believe me, if she does, Sol Ruka's going in the record books, and it will forever go down in history. Loves me some 7-Up. However, while they were talking about that, they were talking about the Lola Vice and Kaylani Jordan, who were excited for them. Laney Reed decided to be a little jerk and interrupted all four ladies. Kaylani Jordan got into her face. So, and then continuing on with the ladies, Blake Monroe calls up Jordan Grace while Jordan Grace is training, and she said, "Blake, you're supposed to be here training." "Yeah, but I got a better idea," and all this. Training her way is to take the SUV and go down. And then when she gets stepped out of the car, she says, "You got to be kidding me." That's part one. Meanwhile, Tavion Heights went up against one-on-one with Charlie Dempsey, and in the matchup, and Tavion Heights wins the matchup, he is free from being part of No Quarter Catch Crew. Well, Charlie Dempsey beat him up to the point where Ren Sinclair had no choice but to throw in the towel. I know Tavion Heights is not going to be very happy about it, and I'll tell you one thing. I don't know what Ren Sinclair is thinking. We'll find out for sure. Hank and Tank were talking about the culling and about defending the belts, and Javon Evans says, "Hey, I like the motivation." He's pep talking with Hank and Tank, and then Jasper Troy wins him over. But meanwhile, in the background, while Hank and Tank were talking, Lexus King was like goofing around with the garage door. What's he worried about? I don't know what's with Lexus King, but he's worried about something to fool around with the garage door like that. Then the tag team match of Joe Hendry and tag team of Joe Hendry and Mike Santana went up against the High Rise, Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe. And both Trick Williams and Wesley got involved during the matchup, but despite that, Hendry and Santana picked up the victory. And then Williams, the High Rise, started to attack Santana and Hendry after the matchup. And it seems like the WWE versus TNA war is really heating up, especially in NXT. Besides, Dark State did attack Matt Cardona this past Thursday night on Impact. We'll see what happens there. People like Noichi Marufuji, Great Muta, Io Sky, some of the wrestlers from Pro Wrestling Noah were sending words of encouragement to Yoshiki Inamura as he challenges Obafemi for the NXT Championship. Then Dark State addresses the TNA attack on Mark Cardona, and now they probably set their sights on Hank and Tank for the tag team titles. If that's the case, which two of the four will challenge for the belts? Possibly Lennox and Cutler James. You got Osiris Griffin, who's a big boy. He can get an individual title. Shaquan Sugars could be the little troublemaker of the group, and that's how it is. And then they had the face-to-face confrontation between Inamura and Obafemi, and then Josh Briggs took his turn talking to Femi. Femi's telling Yoshiki Inamura to calm down Briggs. Briggs punches Femi. Both men start brawling. And when Yoshiki Inamura is trying to calm things down, he gets punched. And then he starts brawling. Everybody had to separate the three of them. So this NXT Championship matchup is going to be good. Then, and then Grace and Monroe, well, part two. They were at the spa getting their nails done. Manicure, pedicure. And then Jordan Grace looks at. Then Jordan Grace goes, "You know what? This is okay." And then Blake Monroe goes, "Good." And she says, and Blake Monroe hoping that Grace takes the title from JC Jane. Then Kaylani Jordan and Lainey Ford go one-on-one women's action. And Kaylani Jordan, congratulations to her, by the way. She recently got engaged to fellow WWE superstar on SmackDown, Carmella Hayes. So congratulations to Carmella Hayes and Kaylani Jordan for the engagement. And Kaylani Jordan wins the matchup. And then after the matchup, Thea Hale was brawling with Lainey Reed after the matchup. And then Javon Evans was getting checked out in the trainer's room. Jasper Troy again attacked him. But then, the shocking Adriana Rizzo made her return. and there was four chairs at the table. And when I saw Tony D'Angelo and Stacks walking in, and with Lou Crucifino, I said, I know who that fourth chair belongs to, and that would be none other than Adriana Rizzo. Calls the meeting, the final family meeting, she says, and all three of them will battle a triple threat, possibly for the Heritage Cup. I really don't know. I want to see how it's going to be something situation how that works out. Then the culling, then Jasper Troy's in the ring calling out Ava to make the match a triple threat match, but then Javon Evans brawls with Jasper Troy. In fact, both of them will brawl at the Great American Bash. The culling welcomes in Tatum Paxley as they make their plans to try to get the tag team titles from Hank and Tank, and Izzy Dane will try to take the North American title from Sol Ruca. Then the tag team match happened, Hank and Tank and the culling, as expected. It was a brawl. Even despite the fact that Izzy Dame and Paxley get involved during the matchup. But then Sol Ruca and Zarya decided to go after Dane and Paxley. Sol Ruca brawling with Izzy Dame, and Zarya carrying Tatum Paxley to the back, distracting Nico Vance and Sean Spears as Hank and Tank retain the tag team titles. Now, Kale Dixon was supposed to have a match on the night, but he was freaking out, and he says, I can't do it. And then Andre Chase, Uriah Khan's trying to come down. Andre Chase goes, fine, you don't have to worry about doing it tonight. So there's that. And now the WWE Evolution Summit. As you know, women from all three brands were arriving and converging on NXT. You had, from SmackDown, you had Julia, Zelina Vega, and WWE Women's United States Champions Julia, Zelina Vega, and Candice LeRae show up. You have Ivy Nile and the Dungeon Dolls, Natalya and Maxine Dupree, arrive from Raw. And Ava was talking about being in high school in the first Evolution. And then Fatal Influence, of course, the women with the biggest ego on the planet. But before we get to that, 6 women from NXT are chosen to be part of the NXT, part of the Evolution Battle Royal. Jada Parker, Lola Vice, Kaylani Jordan, Lash Legend, Izzy Dame, and Tatum Paxley. Of course, Fatal Influence interrupts Ava, saying, "Why did you include?" Start running their mouths, and Jordan Grace interrupts JC Jane, as that match will be between her, Jordan Grace and JC Jane for the NXT Women's title will be happening at Evolution. And then Legend interrupts Grace, saying, hey, she'll win the Battle Royal. Stephanie Vaquer interrupts, she's going to win it. Natalya, Maxine Dupree interrupts Vaquer, saying that she'll win the Battle Royal. Either one of them will win the Battle Royal in the end. It'll be two of them. Jada Parker interrupts Natalya and Dupree, and you see Zelina Vega, Candice LeRae, like I said, Ivy Nile, Julia, everybody was there, and then all the women brawl, including the women I mentioned joining the fray. Lola Vice, Zelina Vega, Ivy Nile, and Julia. They're all fighting referees and officials, try to break them all up. And it's a crazy, crazy deal, folks. And believe me, if I were the referees, man, let the ladies go at it. Seriously. It's really good. Never break up a cat fight. He may end up with a bloody nose. So I heard. All right, let's talk about the NXT Great American Bash. I'll make my picks and predictions right now. You got NXT. You got 3 titles on the line in this one. The NXT title will be on the line. Oba Femi defense against Yoshiki Inamura. The NXT North American title will be men's North American title. Both North American titles will be on the line. The men's, Ricky Saints against Ethan Page, defending champ. And then the women's North American title, Sol Ruca defending it against Izzy Dane. Jasper Troy going one-on-one with Jason Evans. And the women's tag match, Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe to face Fatal Influence. That will be the team of women's champ JC Jane and Fallon Henley. So, who am I going to go for in this matchup? We're talking about Oba Femi. I like Yoshiki Inamura. He's a cool dude, but Femi has got is going to try to set a record. Let's give that match to Femi. Ricky Saints, Ethan Page, IC Saints is the new champion. Write that down. Then I got Jasper Troy and Javon Evan. Troy is on a tear. Gotta give it to Jasper Troy. And then Soruka and Izzy Dame. I say Soruka ends up retaining. And Jordan Grace and Blake Monroe versus Fatal Influence. I'm going to go with Grace and Monroe on this one. So that's going to be a heck of a matchup. I'm not going to make any picks and predictions until after Friday for WWE Evolution and Saturday Night's main event. Well, I'll run down the card so far. You got the Women's World title. Also, having a Great American Bash. There'll be a contract signed between Trick Williams, Joe Hendry, and Mike Santana. My prediction for that, total chaos. When is any contract signing not a calm version? Then you got WWE Evolution. The Women's World title on the line. Io Sky defends against former champ Rhea Ripley. WWE Women's Undisputed title from SmackDown on the line. Tiffany Stratton defends that against Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. NXT Women's Championship on the line. Jacy Jayne defends against Jordan Grace, in which the winner of that match will defend their title against TNA Knockouts Masha Slamovich, who will defend her title in a title versus title matchup. Meanwhile, the Women's Intercontinental title will be on the line. Becky Lynch defends against Bayley and Valkyria in a triple threat. No holds barred. Jade Cargill one-on-one with Miss Money in the Bank Naomi. And then the women's tag team titles on the line. The Judgment Day's Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez defending against Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss against Sol Ruka and Zarya. And the newly reunited the Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka. That's the deal. For Saturday night's main event. So far, it's only 3 matches. World title on the line. Gunther defending against Goldberg. Randy Orton against Drew McIntyre 1-on-1 and LA Knight versus Seth Rollins 1-on-1. That's going to be a heck of a matchup. So that's it. That is it for today's episode of the show. Tomorrow we got the Joker's Wild. We got AEW Dynamite and WWE Evolve going on. Hope you guys are looking forward to it. Red Sox win again 10-2. Brian Bayo had a complete game. Pitched a complete game. So the bullpen has it off. Hopefully the Red Sox backs come real quicker and faster too. So thank you for tuning into the show. I will see you on the next episode, where tomorrow was like it's a spinning in Joker's Wild. So thank you very much. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day. And until next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and do it for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.